What's going on, everybody? And I hope you enjoyed your Sunday morning so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm just going to go over the New York Mets game that they had yesterday, where they played against the Miami Marlins. When it was going to be Edward Cabrera on the hill going up against Tylor Megill. And honestly, this was a closer game at the beginning. Both teams struggled a little bit to get some hits on the board against their opponents. Each team did have a couple of early runs in this game, but really the offense didn't start getting going for the New York Mets until around the fourth inning, when Omar Navarez hit a big-time single to drive in Mark Cahna, and Navarez has gotten off to a very solid start for the New York Mets at that catching position. They signed him to that deal from Milwaukee in this offseason, and so far Navarez in the first 3 games has done a pretty solid job for the New York Mets, driving in 2 yesterday. He also had a single that drove in Mark Cahna earlier, and he had that sacrifice fly that drove in Cahna in the second inning. And I mean, that's where I'm going to get to the start. Mark Cahna was the story of the game yesterday. Cahna had himself a terrific game where he had 3 hits and 4 at-bats, and he drove in 2 runs, including a home run to the center field back in the 7th inning. Cahna was the guy that pretty much led this offense for the New York Mets going forward. He also had a single back in the 5th inning that drove in Pete Alonso to help bring that New York Mets lead to 4-2. So both Cahna and Navarez were the heroes last night, which is actually a very good sign, because we've all been talking about, as Mets fans, the fact that nobody else in this lineup, besides the top guys in this lineup, were really the ones getting the job done. And now you see guys like Omar Navarez and Mark Cahna towards the bottom end of the lineup being able to go out there and get themselves some big-time hits. Also, have to give a lot of credit to Tylor Megill, who is taking over for Justin Verlander, who we all know has got that stretch ligament issue and right near his shoulder. He's going to be out for at least hopefully the next first couple of weeks. But Tylor Megill yesterday pitched in 5 innings. He did give up 6 hits and 2 earned runs, but he also struck out 7 batters, and he only gave up a solo home run back in the 2nd inning to Fortes of the Miami Marlins. So overall, got to give credit to Tylor Megill for a guy that was not expected to start the game yesterday. He went out there and did the job for the New York Mets and gave them 5 solid innings. Yes, he gave up a bunch of hits, but at the same time, he limited the damage from the Miami Marlins. And then you had the rest of the bullpen do their job too. Santana pitched at least an inning and struck out 2. Solid job by him. Drew Smith only pitched in 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit and a walk. And then Brooks Raley and Adam Ottavino both came in, and they did their job overall. Brooks Raley came in, only pitched a 1/3 of an inning, and got out his batter, and then Ottavino struck out 2, but also gave up 2 hits, and then Robertson came in to close out the game, without giving up a hit in the 9th inning, but then getting a big strikeout to help lead the New York Mets to a 6-2 victory yesterday. And that's exactly what this New York Mets team needed, was for the bottom of their lineup to be able to come up when it was needed and go out there and get the job done for this baseball team, and being able to help lead this team to a big-time win as they did yesterday. It was a major relief, a major good job by this New York Mets squad. And now you have the Mets at 2-1, and they go into a game this afternoon with Kodai Senga, the 30-year-old prize free agent pickup from Japan, who's going to be towing the mound now for the New York Mets, and he's going to be going up against the Miami Marlins. So this is Senga's first opportunity to go out there and give a good impression to all the New York Mets fans that he can be a guy that can be relied upon and be one of the next great Japanese pitchers coming out and being able to do the job for the New York Mets. So I'm really curious to see how Kodai Senga is going to be able to perform today. But glad to see that Senga is going to get his opportunity to go out there and really show that he is going to become a very, very significant role on this baseball team going forward. So we'll have to wait and see what Kodai Senga is going to bring to the table today against the Miami Marlins. And in terms of the New York Mets, the Mets did drop their lineup today. So I'm going to let you guys know what the lineup is for the New York Mets going into this game this afternoon. But the Mets did drop their lineup for this afternoon's game against the Miami Marlins. Give me 1 second. Apologize, it's just loading up right now. But just a good job by the Mets overall. Just doing enough yesterday to be able to get the job done against a very scrappy young Marlins team. I mean, this team is not that terrible. You look at their lineup and you look at their team, and yeah, you think that it's going to be a much easier win than expected. But Miami is a young, scrappy team. They're starting to put together a solid roster overall, and they've got themselves some good young pitching. Obviously, we saw that with Luzardo. Obviously, we saw that with some of the other guys out there. So, this New York Mets team has got a good overall, this Mets team did a good job when they needed to get up enough runs when it was needed. So, Kodai Senga is obviously going to be towing the rubber today for the New York Mets going into this game this afternoon. And he's going to be the 14th Japanese-born player to appear in at least one Major League game this year. So that's going to be an interesting thing overall, too. And also, some news. The New York Mets actually got some good contributions yesterday from their minor league players. Vientos, Beatty, and Alvarez all combined for a bunch of home runs yesterday against the Boston Red Sox team. That's a good thing to see, is that the minor league team is starting to show off too. The Mets lineup for today will be Tommy Pham in center. He'll lead off. Starling Marte will be in right field. He's batting second. Francisco Lindor at shortstop. He's batting third. Pete Alonso is going to be the first baseman. He's batting cleanup. Mark Cahna, DH. He's going to be batting fifth. Jeff McNeil at second base. He's going to be batting sixth. Eduardo Escobar, third baseman. He's going to be batting seventh. Tomas Nido will be going behind the plate. He's batting eighth. Tim LoCastro is going to be batting ninth, and he's going to be playing left field. So no Nimmo, and Nimmo's going to be sitting today. No Navarez. He's going to be sitting today too. Otherwise, the rest of your lineup is pretty much out there. Cahna, instead of playing in left field, he's going to be DHing. LoCastro is going to be taking over at left field today for the New York Mets. But that is your Mets game recap. Good job on the Mets getting that victory yesterday. Good job pitching by Tylor Megill. 5 innings overall, only giving up 2 runs. Mark Cahna and Omar Navarez combining for 4 RBIs for the New York Mets yesterday. And now they go into this game this afternoon with Kodai Senga towing the rubber. And let's see how Senga's going to do. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Give a sub to NYG Jeffy T85. More news updates, chatter, and game recaps surrounding the New York Mets. And turn on the bell for notifications. The next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you thought about yesterday's New York Mets game and their victory, and what you guys are thinking and what you're looking forward to seeing from Kodai Senga in today's game against the Miami Marlins in Florida. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Mets. As always, all you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.